There were those who told him that his dream was impossible, that it could never be achieved.
Still believes he's going to be famous. Ladies and gentlemen, the famous, one and only, time-wasting, daydreaming, broom pusher.
But he remembered the words of the old master on the boat. Do you really believe you can? That is the key to unlocking your opus.
Vincenzo! Sweep the floor, boy! Sweep!
Vincenzo gained courage and continued forward.
How do I get started? You just get started. Most people wait. They're going, waiting for their time. Wait till I know more. Wait till I do more. Wait till I learn more. Wait till my time is right. Your time is now. So just get started.
You can't sit on the couch and eat potato chips and expect things to happen. You visualize and you materialize, yes, but you must act. A mediocre plan today is far better than a perfect plan tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes.
We all know that New Year's resolutions last 30 days or 3 weeks or 3 days or for some people 3 hours. And that's a result of this great commitment. And what I want people to do is to step back and, interestingly enough, to essentially dial it down. Focus on what you can do, not what you could do.
If you can't get the big picture, start with the small stuff.
A decision isn't something you take lightly. It isn't a wish or simply saying, I'd like to. There will be no power in it until you say with clarity, I will do it, and attach that commitment to some action. What will you do to get things started?
I'm a big believer in planning. Partly because my first career was in the television industry. And if you don't plan a program, you're asking for a disaster. And that's not to say that you set a plan down that's absolutely rigid. But you put a plan down that you can then change and adjust as you need to when you're going through the production.
Same thing with the writing of the music. I start with an end in mind in terms of how I want to feel, but I don't have every note already written in my head. That's what makes this process so fun and creative. Because the minute you feel like you have to go here because that's where you said you were going to go in the first place, the song has to sound like this because that was my original vision, you cut off all sorts of possibility.
You don't have to know everything before you get started. Top achievers never have all the answers, and they also don't wait for all the answers to come until they get started. They just get started. They don't let questions paralyze them. They understand how to face the unknown and have the courage to do new things without all the answers. They know that the answers will come, and they adjust their course with each step forward that they take. Most of the answers come in the action, not in the calculating. You've got to learn that too. When you're up against the unknown, remember this phrase. Top achievers are not perfectionists. They're improvisers. Get started.
It's hard to start. It's scary. And I know I've seen in my own life that some people they're just waiting for everything to be perfect. There is no perfect time. You'd never have a perfect plan. But you need to move forward. If you're convinced and you're passionate, it will develop. Have some faith. It can happen. It will happen. You got to stay positive, but you got to keep moving forward. And you got to keep moving forward knowing you don't have all the answers.
I wanted to be a fighter pilot my entire life, but back in 1986 there was an experience which pretty much dashed my hopes up against the rocks. Back in 1986, the movie Top Gun came out, and you'd think that would be a source of motivation for me, but really what it was everybody else at that point now wanted to do the same thing that I wanted to do. Everyone wanted to become a fighter pilot because they all wanted to be just like Maverick. And what I knew back then was I was a pretty average guy. I knew that the people who were ahead of me were smarter, faster, they were stronger, and I thought, man, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore because all these people now want to do what I want to do. You know, we're being honest here, so I'll just tell you, I mean, I failed kindergarten. And I don't know if you know what it takes to pass kindergarten, but you basically need to be able to stack blocks and not eat glue, okay? I mean, that's pretty much about it. So I failed kindergarten. I know that I'm a pretty average guy, okay? And I look at all these people who are ahead of me, and I'm thinking, man, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it. But, you know, I followed through with my dreams, and I pressed on. And what I realized through that experience was that I may have been in the 5th percentile on the bottom, but the 95% of the people who were above me never took any action.
Often people have a great idea, and they get excited about it, and they go, wow, I'm going to go do this. But you know something? They don't do it. They think about it, they get excited about it, maybe for an hour, maybe for a day, maybe even for a week or a month, but it dies. They don't take action. They're really not committed. They're really not passionate for it. It's like a passing idea. And so one of the things to be successful, one of the most important things to be successful is, okay, you've got a dream, you've got a vision, you've got plans, and now you've got to go for it.
If you believe in something fully, you take action. I always tell people the last 6 letters of the word attraction spell action, and most people are focusing on this part and they're not doing the doing this. So when you believe that it's going to happen and you're visualizing clearly and you're holding all that energy, what will happen is you'll start attracting to you not necessarily the car, but opportunities, strategies, resources, books, etc. that will come into your life.
If you don't take action, you won't get the results. You must take action. It may be very small, it may be very big. It's what I call inspired action because it's something that's coming from within you. You get a little knock at the door that says attend this seminar, go to this movie, buy this particular book, whatever it happens to be. Your part in this co-creation process is to do it.
I was successful really in a lot of ways just because I went and did it. I took action. And so you're sitting here today, you've got a dream, you've got a goal, you've got an aspiration, you might have an invention, $1 million idea. And what's sitting between you and the execution of your dreams can be simply summed up in this: take action, implement. You grab the bull by the horns, you put the throttles up in afterburner, you live your life at the edge of the envelope, and you will be successful.
Vincenzo continued seeking additional understanding and education wherever he could, surrounding himself with other masters who could help him find his gift and develop his passion. This required effort and work. As he practiced and persevered, his skills became more fine-tuned, and the instrument began to sing.
Whatever you want to do, whether you're an athlete, whether you're in business, whether you're a pilot, if you want to be successful, there are heroes, there are masters, there are people who have been successful before you who will be willing to teach you how to get where you want to be. You don't need to fly solo in this life.
If you have any goal that you want to achieve in your life, the first thing I would invite you to do is surround yourself with people who believe in what you do. And sometimes those people, they're not your family, they're not your friends, they're not your coworkers. You actually have to create that. You have to create your own, what I call your own mastermind, your own board of directors of people who will support you.
My adage is that if I'm ever in a room with 5 people, I want to be the dumbest one in the room. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to be the dumbest one in the room. If I'm the smartest guy in the room, then I'm not listening to anybody. Then I think I already know it. Then I think they're not capable of teaching, training, sharing, or giving me anything of value. But if I think I'm the dumbest one in the room, then all 4 of them are brighter than I am. And I can learn from any one of them. And what that causes me to do is to shut up and sit down and get a chance to learn, because most of us are talking so much, we aren't listening.
I like the idea of modeling other people's success up until the point where you reach something that, hey, this isn't me. It's not me to model this guy like that. Because if you try, it will not work. You'll send out this really weird field of resistance and things will not work for you, no matter how successful that other person is. So I model lots of people, but not one particular person. I will look for things that they do and say, I can incorporate that into my plan for sure. This guy over here, no, not so much. This is where I leave him and go to somebody else.